Hey, what is up? This is your girl, Mark the D-Stop, owner of MDMC Entertainment, and I'm here in beautiful Las Vegas. Well, I got the back end view of Vegas. The strip is that way. But I am here for an away mission, the 55-year away mission, the StarTrek convention by Creation Entertainment. I am here in town specifically for this, and I'm trying to score some really cool autographs. So I'm actually gonna go down, take a look around, have some fun, meet some people, and yeah, I'm gonna take you with me. So I hope you enjoy this video. Bye.
So great to have you here. So long overdue.
So I turned around and I said, yes. And she said, then I'm not going out on it. So I donated the boat about a week later and actually got more in value from it for the tax write-off than I'd paid for it. So it was Thank you very much. Thank you.
Discuss this, Max. What do you remember most fondly about Aaron Eisenberg?
I remember that he irritated the hell out of me. And I would give anything to have him keep doing that if he were still around. I mean, the last time I saw him was this convention 2 years ago. And he said goodbye, we said goodbye. You know, you always think you're going to see somebody again. Maybe that's just natural, but he was he was fan friendly before the word was invented. You know, he said, Max, come on, let's go take a picture with this guy. You know, sorry.
Nothing to be sorry about.
And he was sometimes my son when we were working on the show, and sometimes he was my parent. He was so smart in so many ways that I wasn't, and he taught me things. And he did that scene with Jimmy Darren, where he breaks down in what is the name of that episode? Oh,
In the moon, something about the moon.
no,
Pale moonlight?
Only a paper.
Paper Moon. And when he shot that final, that scene where he breaks down, and he came out and he saw me, and he was in tears. I said, "What's the matter?" He said, I just did this scene better than I've ever done any scene in my life. And it was great. It was, and the fact that they gave him and Jimmy Darren an episode together, not series regulars. They were the A story. He was so proud of that they trusted him to do that. I don't know what else to say. But,
That was great. Thank you. Let's have a hand for Aaron. We miss you. All right, everybody, that's the end of...
Alright guys, I thought last night was my last day. Nope, couldn't stay away. So here I am, day 2, Sunday.
Mr. Tony Amendola. Mr. Raphael Savage. And last but not least, Mr. Jim Beaver.
Notre Dame. Thank you. Charles Lautner playing the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Retail value $150. Someone's going to walk away with a steal. We'll do increments of 50.
Hey, what is up? This is Martha D. Staub, owner of MDMC Entertainment, and I hope you enjoyed my video of the 55-year mission. I've been wanting to kind of dive into this convention. It's by Creation Entertainment, and let me tell you, I did a lot of walking, as you saw. They've actually sectioned off a portion of the ballrooms to do this show. So let me dive right on into what I didn't like, or what just basically my overall opinion of the show was. So I ended up arriving to Las Vegas Friday. It started on Wednesday, and I'm glad I didn't go Wednesday all the way through. The show isn't big enough. I guess the vendor floor is really small, and so I'm really glad I didn't waste all my money to be there for that long. One of the things that I ended up doing was scheduling out people I really wanted to see. And so kind of like this guy right here. I'll show you that in a minute. But I really, every time I go to a convention and I'm going as a fan, I'm not working, I want to definitely see specific people and definitely make connections with people at these shows. That's one of the reasons why I go to these Comic-Cons. If I'm going as a fan, I throw in a little business on the side because you never know. You know, with MDMC Authentics, we're always looking for talent to do private signings and other things. So we definitely want to network while we go to these things. Even though we're not working, we still are technically working. So I bought my ticket. I ended up, let's see. So I got there Friday morning. And I knew Kelsey Grammer was obviously a must because I've never seen Kelsey out on the Comic-Con road. I've never seen him do any other shows. And so it was imperative that I go and see this guy. And so one of the things that I absolutely had to do was I made the list. All right, who's important, who isn't. And one of the things that really pissed me off about Creation and the 55-year mission this year is that a lot of people canceled. Now, I understand it's still COVID. We're still in the middle of this pandemic. But for a good chunk of your roster to just fall off, that sucks. And because it fell off, Creation did anything and everything they tried to do to pick up that mess that was created from the cancellations. And so what ended up happening was they just brought in different people. I was very pissed because they did this last minute. They announced Rainn Wilson to be there Thursday. Well, I have a plane ticket for Friday. I'm not about to spend $100, $200 to change my plane ticket to get there a little bit early. Also extend my hotel because I did stay in the Rio that this convention was being held at. So I wasn't about to spend more money to go meet Rainn Wilson. If I had known prior to that, like a month prior to that, then I could have made arrangements. But Creation did what they had to do, and it sucked on my part. So, you know, I have a lot of Dwight Pops. I know he was on StarTrek Discovery. He was on there for one episode, and they brought him into the 55-year mission, which I thought was weird, but also very disappointing because I couldn't meet Rainn. So what I ended up doing was I got there kind of early. I landed in the morning and I couldn't check into my hotel. So I left my stuff. I couldn't check in until 4 o'clock. So I just left my stuff with the valet. I went and found a spot to work and just opened up my laptop, and I was working at a Starbucks in the dark. And I had a very good location to kind of people watch along the way. And so I saw a lot of people coming and going. And I think right towards pretty much midday, I ran to the counter at the show. So one of the things that they were doing, and I think it's a great idea, in order to get into the show, you have to show your vaccination card, or you have to have taken a COVID test that must be negative at least within the last 3 days, and to show that to get in. I think this is a great way to help prevent spreading of COVID. I won't say what show I was at, but I was at a show locally, and I know 2 talents that actually got sick with COVID because they got it at the con, and I was just at that show. I don't know how I haven't gotten COVID. Knock on wood, I don't get COVID, but it's scary because you can pick it up anywhere. And so Creation did a really good job in preventing something like that happening. So on that day, I go in, I make sure I buy my ticket for Saturday because they started to threaten people online saying tickets will sell out if you just walk up and buy them. So I'm terrified at this point because I'm thinking, great, I have to make sure I meet Kelsey Grammer. I have to, because if I don't meet him, this whole trip was for nothing. So I ended up going that Friday. Once I landed and left my stuff at valet, I bought my ticket for the next day. When I bought my ticket, no one told me I needed to have the program, because the program tells you everything. No one told me I needed this thing. Okay? So I buy my ticket. I spend the rest of my time at the Starbucks. I wait to get into my room. I get into my room. I unwind for a little bit because I had been up the night before. Probably only got 3 hours of sleep. And I ended up going out to dinner with some family that was in town. And then got back, got some rest, woke up the next morning. and headed down to the convention. Like, I made a beeline to the convention as soon as it opened. And again, I got checked, my COVID-19 vaccine card, gave that to them, and was able to be ushered in. Had my ticket, rushed in. So I'm following a crowd of people into the convention, and I don't know where I'm going. I pass by, I see all of the Gene Roddenberry quotes and the art and, you know, the step and repeat banners to take pictures. And I see all that stuff and I'm like, okay, great. I got to figure out where the hell Kelsey Grammer's going to be and what time he's going to be there. I end up going down this really long hall and I stop and I'm like, and the people in front of me are like, what's this line for? I said, hell, I don't know. And so we asked a couple people in front of us, they're like, oh, this is the William Shatner meet and greet, or the photo op, which was weird because I passed photo ops and I was like, that's not the photo op. And so I was like, I don't know what this is for. And so I stood in the line and someone finally said, like, what are you here for? I said, I'm here to see Kelsey Grammer. By any chance, do you know where any of that's happening? And they're like, oh, he's not till later. And I said, well, how do you know that? She's like, it's in the program. You have to go in and go get one. I was like, what? So I had to go run. I ended up going into the vendor room before I ran to get the program to kind of walk around and see. The vendor room is small. Not much talent. Like, I know some of the talent signs in that room, but it was really odd. This is where I kind of hate COVID at the moment because everyone had the little plexiglass and you couldn't do selfies at the table. You just had to pay. You had to buy autograph tickets. I'll get to the autograph tickets in a minute. That was a pain in the ass. You have to buy the tickets and then go and meet them. In some cases, you can just walk up to their table. So I looked around, looked for any signs of anything. I think I ended up asking the photo op people. I was like, hey, by any chance, you know when Kelsey Grammer's signing? And they're like, we're photo ops. We don't know. Like, you have to go get a program. I was like, rudeness. So rude that the other employees there have no idea what's going on. So I finally get this, okay? So I'm like, all right, let's go to Saturday. So I get to Saturday. Boom. So I look on here and I'm like, all right, so we get behind the scenes. William Shatner's he's on stage at 11:45, intermission. Kelsey Grammer's on the stage. And then, so they tell you it's moderated by so-and-so. Kelsey is signing for those with separate autograph tickets today in the Nimoy Theater. So the Nimoy Theater was the same stage area where all the panels were happening. I did not like the idea that you had to, if you bought tickets for a specific person, sometimes those people were signing in the Nimoy Theater. So you can't even interact with the talent behind the plexiglass because you can hear everything that's happening on the stage. It was so annoying. I hated that. So I see, all right, tickets are available at the ticket booth located at the far right front corner of the vendor room. So literally I'm like this is my map. I am walking all around this place. I'm like, all right, I get to the vendor room. I'm like, all right, far right. And so I see a table of prints. I was like, okay, maybe they're selling the prints here, like the tickets to the person there. Nope. You go a little bit further and then you see the line of talent and the ones you can buy tickets for. And so they have all the tickets. The tickets look like, here, I'll show you this. The tickets look like this. So I go over there and I'm like, hello, you know, I need 3 tickets to Kelsey Grammer, okay? They were $125 a pop. So I did the math, all right, that's about $400. I pulled out cash because I didn't, I thought, it's a convention. Not everyone has a card reader. I know this from personal experience, although anytime I work with my talent, we have card readers because not everyone carries cash. So I carried my cash in and I'm like, all right, I need 3 tickets. And they're like, all right, $425. I said, $425? Why $425? It's $400. And they said, no tax. I was like, really? And of course I'm short for like $25. I'm like, really? So I gave them my card. I was like, here, just charge the shit, So I get charged tax for this, which in essence, in most conventions, you don't get charged tax, okay? So anyway, so I'm sitting here looking at this shit. And I'm looking at all the panels. And so I see, you know, I'm going to go see Kelsey Grammer at 125 in the panel, or in the, doing the panel in the Nimoy Theater. And, you know, I'm looking at all this stuff, and I'm looking at, let me see. There's all kinds of shit in here. It's freaking annoying. So you have the regular, a linear program for the day. And then you have the calendarized calendar of the day. So literally I'm flipping through back and forth. And I'm like, all right, I'm looking at the autograph pile over here. And I'm like, all right, who's signing and where are they signing? And so you see a lot of Nimoy Theater, gold signings. And so really not much happening, okay? So literally you had to, this was the Bible. Like if you didn't have this, you don't know what the hell is going on. So yeah, that was really annoying. So I spent the most of Saturday listening to William Shatner. I loved William Shatner. I've actually heard bad things about William Shatner. I met him once at the Hollywood show in LA and he was okay. I had an annoying fan next to me like, oh my God, William, you're my favorite, blah, blah. I was like, yo, bitch, I stood in line. Like, you stand over here. And I did not have a chance to actually interact with William. I just said, thank you for your work. Thank you for coming. So I got my 8x10 signed, but I still have pops up here. I have a couple of William Shatner props that need to be signed. But I didn't do that because I was supposed to meet Kelsey Grammer. So I sat there, I listened to this. Then there was an intermission from 12:45 to 1:45. I took that time to go up to my room and rest for a little bit. Went back downstairs and listened to the Kelsey Grammer panel. Now, the interesting thing about Creation Entertainment and what they do is that, so you're in this big ass theater ballroom, okay? Big ballroom. And if you bought specific tickets, you can go closer to the stage. Well, I bought a general admission because I'm not that type of fan where I'm not going to drop, you know, $1,500 to sit close to the stage. I'm just not. So I sit further back, and of course you have the big screens because obviously when you sit so far back, you can't really see what's happening on the stage. So I'm looking at these screens, and there's a ticker on the bottom that says, now serving, you know, autograph for William Shatner in the Nimoy Theater, line up on the right side. Ticket numbers 1 through 50, okay? So let me get into my pet peeve about these tickets. Creation Entertainment they pre-sell their autograph tickets on their websites for their events. So one of the things that ends up happening is you can pre-buy these things. They're called PDFs. That's what they were calling them all weekend. I did not do that. I should have done that. So what they were doing at the show, so you could do that. So you can buy tickets to see whoever you want online, a PDF. Or you can wait till you get to the show and buy one of these, okay? Same ticket, same thing. Not necessarily. What ended up happening was that if you had a PDF, they number them specifically. So let's say you get a PDF of number 38. You get to fall in line at number 38, and you have to be in numerical order. Like they're literally watching what number you are and where you fall in the line. Why? You got a ticket, get in the line. Not in this case. So you had to sit there like the DMV and wait till your number is called. It's like, all right, now serving all tickets, come up and line up. But for all the other tickets, it's like numbers 1 through 50. Fucking annoying. And those tickets are numbered. I don't have that anymore because they took my number. But so what ended up happening was I'm sitting there. I think I was watching the panel. It was a really good panel. It was with Casey Biggs, Gary Graham, Mark Alimo, Max Godinchik, Robin Curtis, and Vaughn Armstrong. So I was sitting there watching this panel, and I'm just like, I'm watching the ticker, okay? Out of nowhere, I'm lucky I was paying attention. It says, Kelsey Grammer is no longer signing in the Nimoy Theater. please proceed to ballroom, whatever. I forget, tango or something. So I'm like, fuck. So you see, and it was weird because I was like, why is no one just sitting down in this theater? Why are there lines? Like, I thought there were lines for people to go in and ask questions. It was actually lines to meet people behind these curtains. I'm just like, this is stupid. So thank God he got moved out of the theater and he got moved into a smaller ballroom. So here I go marching, and I finally get there, and I'm one of the first ones to get there. And I'm like, yes, okay. I'm here for Kelsey Grammer. And they said, great, what kind of ticket do you have? I have a green ticket. Green ticket. And they said, great, stand over here. And I said, why? I'm here first. And they said, no, we're serving PDFs first, and then we'll get to your ticket. What number ticket are you? And I said, 149. He says, you're at the very tail end of this line. I was like, oh, okay. So I think they only sold 200 of each. So, oh, I'm ticket 151. Okay, 149, 50, 51, because I got 3 autographs. Okay, so I'm literally standing in this makeshift line by myself. I see another lady in front of me, and I'm just like, this is stupid. So they serviced all of the PDFs, 200 people in front of me, even though I got there first. I waited in that line for 2 hours. And I'm just like, this line system is retarded. Like, why in the world? It's the same goddamn ticket. You paid the same amount. Why are you making me stand in this line? It's ridiculous. I was so pissed. And so finally, I kind of just said, fuck it. I'm not going to stand in this line forever. So I actually squeezed into like these tickets, like 1 of 50. And so the lady in front of me is like, I actually have 125. I said, I'm just going to sit with you. And they're like, what number are you? I'm like, 126. The guy did not remember what number I was. But I got to sneak in through and I met Kelsey Grammer. I got this signed. And I got this signed. It's a Beast Pop. And I have a Fraser Pop. I just don't know where it's at right now. Where'd it go? Kelsey. I don't know where he went. This is odd. It was here. Okay, well anyway. So I got my 3 autographs, okay? So yeah. It was, and it sucked though. I know, because we do signings with talent all the time, but it was a literal conveyor belt. Like, I couldn't even go in and talk to his people. Like, I was like, hey, you know, here's my card. I'd love to do a private signing with Mr. Grammer. Couldn't do any of that. I mean, he had security dressed up, you know, the fancy security, you know. So that was my day of Saturday at the convention, okay. So the next day, I was like, I don't know if I want to spend $60 to go on Sunday. I'm like, do I want to go on Sunday? Do I feel like I need to go on Sunday? But a lot of the Sunday lineup was really good. Let's see. So Sunday. So this is another thing that Creation did to piss me off even further. The night before, Michelle Hurd from Picard canceled. I was going to meet her. I saw her on Younger, loved her, thought it was funny. And I've enjoyed Picard. Okay, I love Picard. And I do all these videos for the hashtag show, doing episode reviews and stuff. So I'm devoted, okay? So anyway, Picard, so she cancels the day before she's supposed to be there. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, really? The day before? And I found this out while I was buying tickets to meet a couple people. So, of course, I love Voyager, so I went to go meet Robert Beltran and Roxana Dawson. And that's the only reason I wanted to go. But the lineup was really good. So when I got there Sunday morning, I did pay the $60, what I had to $60, $70 to go in on the daily. So I checked out the Picard panel, which was really good. And then I crossed over to the Voyager documentary, because that's happening. I went and saw that. I ended up So I accidentally bought a ticket. Actually, I didn't accidentally. The girl that was dealing the tickets, I ended up spending the rest of the cash that I had to pay for Barbara Beltran and Roxana Dawson's autograph. And I said, you know what? Let me meet Max he's Rom from Deep Space Nine. She did not hear Max. She heard Mary Wiseman, who's also on Discovery. And I was like, no, I wanted to meet Max. So I gave her, I was like, here, let me just exchange this. And so she overcharged me. And she just gave me the Max ticket. She's like, here, I overcharged you. I was like, wait, what? And I'm over here trying to do the math. I was like, oh, you did. Okay. So this is what I don't like about talent agencies getting involved in shows and not letting the show decide when they should do anything. They had designated tables set for them, which is great. I mean, I get it, but it was kind of annoying because they said on Mary Wiseman. So there's an asterisk next to her name. So I was like, all right, you gotta go back to this book and like, all right, where is her panel? So I go and look. All right, Discovery, Mary Wiseman. Okay. When they announce a panel, they also announce when they're signing autographs. Okay, so Blue was signing autographs in the theater. Let's see. Okay. Anthony and Mary are signing for those with an autograph ticket. What are these? At their table in the vendor rooms at times determined by them. All right. So I actually look in this book and I see Mary Wiseman, 11 a.m. And so, and remember, I really didn't want to meet her. She was $60. But at the same time, I really did love her character on Discovery. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll just meet her, get it over with. So my ass goes to the vendor room at 11. I had already seen a couple people hovering around her table by the time I made a circle around that room, which was really small. Like, there's not enough vendors in there. And there was a lot of talent tables. Like, there's some dead space in there. I just thought it was weird. And I don't know. It just, for me, it was just odd. You couldn't take pictures with the talent. You got the plexiglass. It was really odd. So I stand in this room. I left I was pissed because I left the Voyager documentary panel. It was supposed to end at 11:30. I had to be at Mary Wiseman at 10:40. So I run to Mary Wiseman's table at 10:40. And I talked to the people. I'm like, hey, any word? They're like, no. I stood there until 12:30. And I was like, I'm out of here. Like, the people in front of me are like, I gotta go. I gotta catch a plane. I'm out of here. I thought she'd be here. It said 11:30 in this book. So she left. And then I found out, this is the messed up part, creation. If you can't meet your person and you want a refund, you can't. It's actually a credit used for the merch table. So forget getting your money back. You're going to get some merch, which I thought was bullshit. So Mary Wiseman's nowhere to be seen. Okay. Creation being who they are. And I know people are going to say, well, Creation's been around for 50 years. They do good work. Bullshit. You know what they ended up doing? I think it was, let me see. I went back to the Enterprise panel, which I didn't watch Enterprise. I'm like halfway through season 1 of Enterprise. So I went and sat in the thing because I was like, I'm dead tired of standing in this line for Mary to show up. I'm just going to chill for a minute. Right before the Voyager panel, I said, you know what? Let me go over and see if she's there. Because I knew, according to this Bible here, that her panel was going to start at 3:30. So I figured there's got to be a way. She's got to be showing up at some point. I go back. I made friends while I was there. I go back to the vendor room at 2 o'clock. And some guy was like, hey. And I was like, what? I'm like, who the hell are you? Hey, you were in the Mary Wiseman line. I said, yeah. And he said, she's coming at 2. And I said, man, I heard she was gonna come here at fucking 10:40. What do you mean 2 o'clock? It's 2 o'clock now. And he said, she's coming, stay here. And I said, ugh, I'm missing the Voyager panel. Like, what the fuck? Okay. There she comes out of the back of the stage or the little area. Her husband, and Anthony Rapp, I believe. And they're like, hey. And I'm like, hey, why the hell did you tell these people you're going to be here at 10:40? And you had a whole line of people. Like, she lost at least 5 customers waiting for her ass. And that does not fall on Mary Wiseman. That actually falls on her agent. Hello, there should have been an announcement, something on Facebook. You have social media channels. Use them to announce things, changes, something. Mary Wiseman's own social media. She could have said, hey guys, the schedule says I'm gonna be there at 10:40. Sorry, I'll be there at 2. Do you know how much heart, you know, like, man, I tell you, my legs were dead after that show. So I sit there and I wait. There she comes. I'm like, it's about fucking time, Tilly. At this point, I'm annoyed. I'm not trying to take it out on her because I know working in this industry, that's the agent's fault. And it's the show's fault because the show should have taken responsibility in knowing what the fuck is going on. They didn't. So she shows up. I bought a little print. Where is it at? I bought a print, which sucks because at these shows, you got to buy your own prints. They don't provide prints until you get to her table and she was providing prints. A print that I really wanted, by the way, but I already bought this one. So she signed this one. Fantastic. I like her. She was wonderful to meet. But creation and her agency dropped the ball. She signs my shit. I go back to the theater. And this is not a short walk. This is like, I don't even know how far, but it was far. So I run back to the theater to catch the rest of the Voyager panel. And that panel had Robert Beltran and Roxana Dawson. Okay. Oh, and Garrett Wang. Or Wong. I think he says Wong, but it's spelled with an A. I don't know. So anyway, so I get back to the main room. I'm like, all right, Mary's done. Thank God. And so I'm in the line to, well, I was seeing on the ticker. So I wanted to meet Max, Rom from Deep Space Nine. And I keep seeing Max is now serving gold ticket holders. I'm like, fuck, man. When is Max going to be done? So I sit there and I wait. The Voyager panel ends, and creation, being creation, had a supernatural panel happen at the same time. So they actually brought in, and I was pissed because I had the pops, and again, because of the cancellations, I couldn't get some of my shit signed. Had I known, I would have been able to fix this. So Mark Shepard and Bobby from Supernatural were there, along with Stephen Culp and a couple of other people. It was actually a very fantastic panel. Actually, one of the guys was in Zorro with Antonio Banderas. I didn't know that. And also, I didn't know Mark Shepard, not Mark Shepard, Bobby Singer. Is his name Mark Shepard? No, Mark Shepard is Crowley. But anyway, Bobby. He was actually married to the lady that played Moogie on Deep Space Nine. So he's had Star Trek roots for a long time. In fact, he told the story that he was actually the handler for Moogie. No one knew him as Bobby from Supernatural. He was Moogie's husband. And so he said that he felt like a father to, you know, Aaron Eisenberg, who has since passed. Very good guy. I met him once. I worked with him at a show. Fantastic guy. And so, yeah. So that was a really great panel. I just wished creation would have announced, hey, Crowley and Bobby are coming. I could have brought my pops and got them signed. Anyway, so I'm sitting there watching the panels and stuff, and I'm still waiting for Max to deal with, not gold, now he's dealing with PDF sticker. Oh, there he is. He's still dealing with PDF stickers, okay? Or PDF tickets, okay? So then, I'm watching the ticker, and Roxana and Robert are now serving PDF tickets. So I'm sitting there watching the panel. I see the line up on the right side. I'm like, all right, that's the line. Okay. So I actually made my way from one side of the theater to another. And so I'm sitting there because I'm like, Max is taking forever. He's still serving, he's serving PDFs. So are these guys. Let me see which one I have to run to first, right? So I'm sitting there, I'm enjoying the panel, looking up at the ticker, making sure I'm not missing anything. Out of nowhere, it says, Roxana Dawson, all tickets, last call. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I see this whole line way back here. I'm like, whoa, how is it last call? So I run into the line. The lady said, who are you here for? I said, both Roxana and Robert. And they said, run over here. All right. So I get into the line, and so I have both my tickets. And so they push me into the line. And so while the panel's still going, I get to meet Robert Beltran. They don't allow you to take pictures while they're signing the stuff. So poor Robert Beltran's over here signing my shit. And he doesn't, like, I say hi to him. He wants to talk to me, but I can't talk to him. And we can't hear anything because of the fucking panel happening right next to the stage. What a disaster. Same thing with Roxana Dawson. Couldn't do the same thing either. I just said hi to her real quick and then finished, okay? At that point, Max is still, like, I did not realize how old Max was. He must not be that old. He must be in his 60s or something. But he was signing so fucking slow. I finally go over to the Max line, and I'm standing there for an hour, and he literally has like 20 people in front of me. And I'm like, yo, fuck, man. Max was the last person I got. And let me tell you, slow. And again, same thing. You have the plexiglass up against this row of people. You can't hear him. You can't talk to him. I told the handler, I said, please have him just sign it. And they're like, do you want your name? I said, no, I don't want my fucking name. Just sign it and put Rom. And then so she gives him the instructions, and Rom's like, what else do I do? And she said, nothing, just sign your name. And I said, hello, you know, Max, nice to meet you. And he's like, hi, like could barely hear because of the commotion. Because at this point now, the convention has ended, and now Creation, what they end up doing is they collect all these autographs from all the shows that they've done these past 50 years. They auction it off at the end of the show. I tell you, this is why they've been in business for 50 years, because they have a way of making money and continuing that revenue going through their entire system. So there's an auction going on. I can't talk to Max. What a disaster. I was just like, all right, thank you, bye. And I thought about staying until the end, because I think at that night, according to the Bible here, they were having, what were they having? There was something happening here. I think they were having the Rat Pack from Deep Space Nine do something at like 8 o'clock. At this point, I just want to go home. Paying attention to the ticker and the stage, and you know, making sure you have this, because if you thought this and no one told you you needed this, you have to figure it out. And the fact that the staff doesn't know anything. I don't know why Creation runs the way they run. I get it. Whatever they're doing for the past 50 years must have worked. I get that. But really, there was not. And here's the thing, you pay a lot of money with Creation. Like, I want to do a supernatural convention, but now doing this, I don't know if I want to do this ever again. I told our co-CEO, I said, if I'm going to a Star Trek convention again, you have to go with me, because you never know between the PDFs and the regular tickets and the ticker and what line you got to be in, you could miss a signing. You need 2 or more people to do a show like this. It's ridiculous. So I give it a 5. And I was pissed at Mary Wiseman's people. Mary Wiseman's people, if you guys are watching, because I know you guys are an agency, I have to look you guys up, because when I was there, I actually looked you up, couldn't find anything on you. But if you're watching this, get your shit together. Use social media, utilize those channels to update people. If the convention's not going to do it, you need to do it. And you need to do it on her social media as well. And for any other talent that you're dealing with, because at the end of the day, it's just complete and utter chaos. And so literally, I caught Mary by a whim. I could have totally lost that, and then I would have 60 bucks with creation merch that I couldn't get my money back for. What a disaster. I just can't. And so for it being a first time experience, I've always wanted to do this show. I have mixed feelings on it because I've done a lot of these conventions in the past. I've gone to a lot of shows. I've worked a lot of shows. I get it. This show is not run like any other Comic-Con out there. It is run completely differently, and you have to be very on point and reading to make sure what you're doing. So my first Comic-Con, my first Star Trek convention experience, I'm gonna give it a 5. I really wanted to give it more, but between the cancellations and the replacements and me missing the replacements because I'm fans of from another show, I couldn't get my stuff signed the way I should have. And so, and I know a lot of people go to get stuff signed. That's one of the biggest premises of Comic-Cons. I could have gotten a lot more work done had I known. And especially now with Authentics and we are filling up our store with other things, it could have worked out easier for me, but it didn't. You made me fail. You failed me and you failed the city. So yeah, I really wanted my first Star Trek convention to be epic and amazing, and it fell flat. So the 55-year mission is over. They announced that the 56-year mission, and this is because they've been doing Star Trek conventions for 56 years now, is going to be at the Bally's Hotel and Casino August 25th through 28th, which is good because one of the things I hated about Rio is old. It's older. Like, it's not, even Bally's is old, but I hated the fact that I was so far away from the strip. Like, I couldn't just walk out and enjoy the city. Like, I had to go and pay an Uber or a taxi to take me to another hotel so I could enjoy it. Which luckily I didn't do that. I know people in Vegas and I had, family nearby. So people just came and got me. I didn't have to pay for all that. But I missed the convenience of it because then now you're stuck with eating in the hotel. And I ate at the hotel. The food wasn't all that great. It was kind of blah. And some stuff was closed due to COVID. And I get it, COVID played a big part in this, but I find it very shady. And there must have been something going on with the TNG crew and the cast because freaking, and everyone knows my dislike for the Jonathan Frakes, but Jonathan Frakes posted a picture of him fishing on Saturday or Sunday. I'm like, dude, you're supposed to be here. Where are you? And I don't understand why he gets so much love in this fandom. I don't understand it at all. He's such an asshole. And of course the fans were furious. Like, it's funny because people that were going up to ask questions to William Shatner or anybody else were like, hey, thank you so much for not canceling. That was the theme of the entire thing. Thank you for not canceling. When you have that much talent canceling, that's bad. And the fact that you're trying to, and I get it, and maybe it's my fault too, I don't know. But when you replace and then don't give us enough time to get the shit we need in order to get it signed, you're just doing your fans a disservice. So overall creation, I don't have high hopes to do a supernatural convention because I'm very terrified of what you're gonna do there because I've never been to one. But from what I understand, oh, there's a Game of Thrones creation show happening, which I kind of want to go to. But if it's run like this, which I'm pretty sure it is, God, Lord help me. I don't know how you guys have been in business for so long. It is insane. So yeah, so this was my haul. Max, Mary, Robert, Roxana, and of course, Mr. Grammer. So yeah. Will I go next year? I don't know. I do a lot of episode reviews for that hashtag show. I've been reviewing a lot of Lower Decks shows, and I was really surprised the Lower Decks crew or cast was not in this show. Saru, Doug Jones canceled. I got all these pops ready. Where's Michael Burnham? Michael Burnham's down there, okay? I bought her pop and she canceled. And now I'm seeing they're doing, Creation does spin-offs of the bigger shows. And so now I guess the New Jersey show, Michael Burnham's gonna be at Sonique Martin Green, I think that's her name. She's gonna be in New Jersey. And so is like Kate Mulgrew and 7 of 9. Jerry Ryan canceled. I mean, so many people canceled on this show. And I don't understand why, because Creation was doing, which I agree with, that's the part of the show they didn't fail. They were taking the proper procedures to make sure people were gonna be safe. I just did not like the setup of the vendor room and, you know, seeing people with the plexiglass. I'm just over COVID, just over this shit. But yeah, so that's my review on that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If anyone from Creation sees this, comments, talk to me. I don't know. It just, you failed the city, okay? Anyway, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed this rant, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.